Welcome back to the Healing Space. I'm Maya Soul. On this episode, we'll discuss the pain of one sided relationships. Have you ever noticed you're always the one calling, checking in, supporting, fixing, forgiving, understanding? Always the one making the effort to keep relationships alive. Today, we're talking about the pain of one sided relationships. Some of the most exhausting pain doesn't come from enemies. It comes from constantly pouring into people who barely pour back into you. One-sided relationships are emotionally draining because deep down, you know you're carrying the connection by yourself. You know that if you stop calling, if you stop texting, if you stop checking in, you would probably never hear from that person again. One-sided relationships don't happen overnight. Most of them develop slowly over time. One person starts giving a little more, then a little more, until eventually the entire relationship depends on one person's effort. But why do we allow it? Why do so many people stay in relationships, friendships, and family dynamics where they're doing all the work? And yet, you still keep trying. You still send the message first. You still make the plans. You still show up. You still support them emotionally. Why, if these relationships are so unhealthy, why do they exist for so long? Because empathic people naturally hold relationships together. But eventually, carrying relationships alone becomes emotional labor exhaustion. And that exhaustion can quietly break you. For instance, we all have people in our lives who are part of these one-sided relationships we invest in. And honestly, it's not hard to identify one. There's usually a consistent imbalance in effort, care, and emotional investment. You initiate most of the conversations. You remember birthdays. You celebrate accomplishments. You check on them during difficult times. You help financially when needed. You support their dreams. You listen to their problems. But when you're struggling, silence. No text message. No emotional support. No thoughtful check-ins. No concern. And somehow, the relationship always survives off your effort alone. You openly share your life and feelings with them, but they rarely open up about their own. They're available when it benefits them, but unavailable when you need them most. And sadly, many of us have normalized this type of imbalance. In these situations, one person regularly gives more time, more energy, more emotional support without receiving the same care in return. And this doesn't just happen romantically. It happens in friendships, family relationships, work relationships, sometimes even with the people closest to us. And sadly, almost everybody listening has either dealt with someone like this or is currently dealing with someone like this now. So the question becomes, why are these people allowed in your presence? Do you not feel like you deserve individuals around you who reciprocate? Or at the very least, people who are willing to try? Because healthy relationships are not built of one person constantly sacrificing themselves emotionally. And I think one reason empathic people stay too long in one-sided relationships is fear. Fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, fear of being alone, fear of starting over, fear of accepting that certain people may never love us the way we deserve. So instead, we settle for crumbs. We accept inconsistent effort because at least someone is there. But can I be honest? Some people are physically present while emotionally absent. And that kind of loneliness hurts differently because nothing is more painful than feeling unseen by people you continuously show up for. So I want you to sit with a few questions today. Would this relationship survive if I stop trying? Am I truly loved or merely useful? If the people around me are not careful with my feelings, thoughtful about my needs, or considerate of my emotional well-being, why are they there? When will I get tired of being treated like an option? Because relationships should not constantly feel draining. You should not have to beg people to reciprocate basic care, effort, and consideration. And healing sometimes requires accepting that everybody cannot come with you into your next chapter. One of the greatest acts of self-love is learning when to stop overextending yourself for people who comfortably underdeliver. Stop chasing reciprocity from people who only know how to receive. Pay attention to consistency. Pay attention to effort. Pay attention to who only shows up when it benefits them. Because people who truly value you will not make caring about you feel difficult. Relationships should not feel like emotional jobs. You deserve connection that feel mutual, safe, balanced, and genuine. I'm Maya Saul. Until next time, keep healing, keep growing, and most importantly, keep choosing you.